No problem, sir. Glad I could help. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for calling GVTC. Woo! That's right, Jason! Thank you for calling GVTC. This is Jeff.
Call today and ask for a gig, which is up to 1,000 megabits per second internet speed through the GVTC Giga region. Unlimited long-distance phone service, 24/7 home security monitoring, and free whole home DVR with our HD TV service. GVTC, just plain smart.
It's a brand new year of Rangers football here in 2015. New location, Smithson Valley's locker room, and we have new segments coming up as well. Here in Inside Rangers football, we have senior moments coming up with Emily. Before that, Little Men with head coach Larry Hill. Coach will talk about that later, but first off, congrats. Week 1, you get a win in Midland Lee, 21-14. Great way to open the season.
It is. I think just beating anyone to open the year is good, but obviously with a 5.5-hour road trip, playing a quality team at their place, down to the wire game, getting a pressure situation, find a way to win. Just all of that. Clearly we've got to play better, coach better. We'd like to play, but we also give credit to Midland Lee. We knew it was going to be a hard-fought game, and it was. And we got the win, and so we want to know as good as you can do after 1 week. You
look at an opponent like Midland Lee and the opponents you have coming up. We'll talk about Brant later in the show, your district schedule, some of the non-district teams you have left. This is the kind of game that prepares you for the rest of the year.
It is. You would love for everything to work all the time. Every play works, every defensive call stuffs them, and every kicking game play goes your way. But that's not reality, particularly with as tough a schedule as you mentioned. Mm-hmm. If you want to get to where you want to go, you're going to be in games like this. And so the more you can get exposed to that, I think the more, maybe relaxed is not the right word, but the more able you are maybe to perform under the gun next time.
Speaking of performing under the gun, your defense last week in the win over Midland Lee, phenomenal job holding Lee to 14 points, only 7 after the first quarter. Defensively, 4 turnovers as well, put you in a position to win the game.
They did. They really played outstanding. You mentioned there we gave up a 12-play drive to open the game, and then they scored again in the fourth quarter. In between that, we got 4 turnovers. And anytime you can take the ball away 4 times, you're helping your offense with short fields. You're helping your offense with momentum. You're demoralizing the other team's offense. So I thought their performance was outstanding, probably the difference in the game.
And one of your great young players on this team making his varsity debut came up with a couple of big plays defensively.
Yeah, Trayvon Merrick, he's a sophomore. Ranger fans are going to be hearing a lot of him over the next 3 years. Had 2 big turnovers, just a fumble takeaway early in the game when we were trailing 7-0. It looked like they were going to score again. And he got a big takeaway. Then he got an interception in the fourth quarter, helped seal the game.
Now, offensively solid. Josh Atkins runs for all 3 of your touchdowns. Ben Zoig eats up a lot of yards as well on the ground. What'd you take from the offense's performance?
Well, we're a little erratic. We started the game very poorly, 3 and out on our first 3 series, and then had stretches of long uninterrupted success. And good defensive front, had a hard time blocking them consistently, but for the most part took care of the ball, capitalized on field position, squandered 1 scoring chance in the end zone. So we got a lot of work to do, a lot of improving to do, but overall we were pleased.
All right, Coach, we've heard about the plays. Let's go see them now in the film room.
Let's go take a look. This play is early in the first quarter. We're trailing 7-0, and you can see they're down there about ready to score again and really put us in a hole. Trayvon Merrick, a sophomore, who's featured with the circle around him, is going to make a play that really swings the momentum in our favor. It's a short pass. He's got a blocker engaging him. He plays off the block, and he makes the tackle. But as he comes out of the tackle, keep your eye on the screen, pulls the ball out, recovers it in midair. He fumbles. Alfonso Bafitas picks up the fumble and rumbles about another 20 yards, and suddenly from what could have been a 14-0 deficit, now it's 7-0 deficit, and we've got the ball on the 40-yard line, gotten some momentum. Here's a rear view. You can get a little bit different angle of it from behind the Midland Lee offense. Quick throw out to the left. Here's Trayvon playing off the block, rips it out, catches it in midair, as we said earlier, fumbles, which wasn't part of the plan. Then Alfonso Bafitas picks it up, And you can see it energizes our team, kind of gets us going, and takes us on to the next play. A few plays later, Derek Hausler, at the top of the screen with the circle around him, gets us going on offense where we'd struggled in the early going with what we call a sluggo route. Sluggo, slant and go, sluggo. I'm not sure who came up with that term, but that's what we call it. He fakes the slant route with the first 2 arrows and then swims back to the outside and runs down the sideline. You can see it right on your screen as the play unfolds. Slant, fake, back to the outside, ball perfectly thrown by Josh. Derek makes the catch inside the 5 and gets us started, and we go in to score and tie the game up. Here's a little bit better look from the pass protection angle. You can see Malachi Powpow on the left, Davis Perry, number 57. Our center, John Mockert's kind of hidden. He and number 70, Brock Sherber, double-teamed the defensive tackle. And number 61, Nick Hamrick, blocks the defensive end. Great protection. He's got plenty of time to run the sluggo. Again, you get a real good look at the throw. Gets us down there for our first score. Here's an unusual play you won't see much. It's a 3rd and 1 call. We're just going to run the quarterback sneak to try to get the 1 yard that we need for the first down. The defense loses sight of Josh Atkins, our quarterback. Instead of making 1 yard, he makes 43. Watch the play as it unfolds. Get a real good push by the left side of our line, surge, and Josh is out the back door. The defensive backs lose track of where he's at. Goes down inside the 15-yard line and going in for another score. Here's a good look from the back. Our tight end on the extreme left is Tanner Jennings. Malachi Powpow is our left tackle. Davis Perry is our left guard, and John Mockert's our center with the arrow on him. Watch the surge they get as the play unfolds. Push. Josh kind of rides the wave there and then shuffles and slides out to the left. The defensive backs are turned around and fooled. Run the play down inside the 10 and score. Finally, toward the end of the game, a play that puts the game away for us. We've got to stop Midland Lee to finish the game off. They're throwing from their end of the field. Let's feature Jeff Savard, number 3 there in the middle. Jeff plays linebacker and defensive tackle for us, an unusual combination. Does a great job of getting pressure and then getting his hands up and forces the quarterback to loop it over him, throw the ball high. When he does, there's that name again, Trayvon Merrick, the sophomore, elevates, gets the interception. We get a couple of really good blocks here. You can see a few of them on the screen. Runs that thing almost out to midfield, and we're able to put the game away. Here's a good look from the rear. Jeff Savard right in front of the referee. Elevates. Ball has to go over him. That forces it high. Then Trayvon with the interception. You see some good blocks. Big return, of course, sideline, and the whole team's excited, and we're able to get away with the win in Midland. Those are our plays of the week.
Always good to take a look inside the film room with your coach. You know, we've had a look at the film throughout Inside Ranger football for the past couple seasons, but again, a lot is new this year. Those segments coming your way momentarily. New uniforms, by the way, for the Rangers this season. And something else that's new, our sponsors jumping on board this year, thanks to Chicken Express, GVTC, and Ferris Orthodontics. In fact, Dr. Ferris is going to have his district picks coming up later in Inside Ranger football. But right now, we're going to take a break. When we come back, more Smithson Valley football talk coming up.
All of our games this year are big, none bigger than this week's game. So before we get started, let's get one thing
straight.
It doesn't count until your elbows are
Straight!
Get up under him and stand him up.
Straight! 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 Hey, Riley, we're glad you're here today. We're going to make your teeth perfectly.
Let me guess. Straight? Straight. Straight, of course, straight. Straight. Straight.
Rest, ice, compression, elevation, every day. Reagan, are you there? Hello? Are you in there?
Pennucky, I'm sorry. I am so hungry. I need some Chicken Express.
Yeah, Chicken Express does sound good.
with our famous chicken tenders and the best sweet tea in Texas. If someone isn't paying attention to you, they're thinking about Chicken Express.
Welcome back to Inside Rangers Football. Now, something we want to clarify. Yes, the uniforms are new, but a very slight tweak, Coach. We're not adding any green or red colors this year.
No one's going to confuse us with Oregon. So they are new, but they are the same.
Right.
The same as they've been for 22 years. So you Ranger fans can rest easy on that.
Very clean look for the Smithson Valley uniform. Well, when you look at this roster, this team of yours, every year, you're loaded with seniors. What's special about this senior class? I
think their work ethic and their commitment to having a great team chemistry. You know, they work very, very hard. They all have lofty ambitions of their own as well as team ambitions, but yet they're more concerned about winning than who gets the credit. And that's a cliche, and I guess you want to be able to say that about every team, but some exemplify that more than others, and this one does it about as good as any we've had.
Would you say it's a fun group?
No doubt. Makes it easy to come to work every day. Some days you want to kill them, but just like any family, they're yours, and you're glad they're there every day.
Well, we're going to find out just how fun they are. Our very own Emily Turner has her senior moments with the Ranger seniors.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Brant. So I am here with Steele, Jeff, and Josh. And boys, here's the thing. You are all sitting in here on large part thanks to your mama. So before we get started, I want you to get out your phones and I want you to text your mama, thank you and I love you.
Sure thing.
Steele, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what an aardvark is?
That's what Arthur is. I don't. It's a medium-sized nocturnal animal found in northern Africa. It burrows itself for shelter.
That's very good, Steele. You did a great job. So, Josh, can you tell me, how do you spell aardvark?
A-R-D. Wait, aardvark? A-A-R-D-V-A-R-K.
Very good. All right, Jeff, since you have kind of been a phone-a-friend for your buddies here, I'm going to go easy on you. What is your favorite dish your mom cooks for you?
Oh, man. Well, my dad does the cooking in the house. Okay. Enchiladas.
Enchiladas. There
Enchiladas.
you go.
Enchiladas.
Some mean enchiladas, huh?
Oh, definitely.
All right. Or,
Don't show my mom that part.
It's already done.
Oh, okay.
All right, after talking to you boys, I understand that, Jeff, you have an amazing talent, and I would like you to let everybody at home know what you can do, and I'd like you to give us a little bit of that.
I can wiggle my ears. Can we get closer?
Can you show me that? That's pretty good. Thanks, Jeff. Coach, Brant, back to you.
Thank you, Emily. Again, that one of the new features of the Inside Ranger Football Senior Moments. Another new feature is Little Men. I'm not really quite sure what this is about, Coach. Please explain this to me.
Well, the Little Men is an idea taken from the Bud Wilkinson show in the 1950s at Oklahoma. He would frequently use little men, little football, miniature football players, like the old timers will remember the old electronic football game. And he would move them around the board and show certain defenses or plays, and then he would cut to live action and show you that on the screen. And we decided that was a pretty good idea. We saw a clip of that this summer, and we thought, well, that's something we can use on Inside Ranger Football, so we're going to Little Men.
All right, well, this I got to see. So here it is, Little Men with head coach Larry Hill.
One of the things that makes play calling difficult in football is knowing, is the defense going to be stacked to stop the run, in which case you'd like to be throwing a pass, or are they going to be set up to stop the pass, in which case you'd like to be running the ball. If you try to guess with the defense, sometimes you'll be right, sometimes you'll be wrong. One of the things we have tried to do, and is very popular in football now, is what's called a run and a pass option. 2 plays in 1. The quarterback decides after the ball is snapped what the defense is best set up to stop, and then he does the other. Perhaps I can explain it a little better if we watch the Little Men. This is a typical defensive alignment by the opponent, who's represented in the dark jerseys. and an offensive alignment by Smithson Valley, who's represented in the white jerseys. Just a standard play, the ball would be snapped to our quarterback, and he would turn and hand it to our running back, who would run behind the other running back, lead blocking. You can see that allows us to have 6 blockers against 6 defenders. One of the things the defense will do to try to stop that play is to insert a safety or a 7th defender into the run forcing unit, outnumber you, and make it difficult to run that play. If you knew they were going to do that, you might take this receiver and run him through the vacated area. But just as soon as you call that play, what if the defender is in fact covering the pass? You have nothing. So what we do sometimes is allow our quarterback, as he is handing the football off, as represented here, is to put his eyes on this young man here. If he stays deep to cover this receiver, then we hand the ball off and run through the voided area. If the defender on the snap senses that it's a running play and begins to move forward to support, then we'll throw the ball behind him into the voided area. A run-pass option puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback in just a quick, short period of time to decide which one to do. If he can make the right decision, though, we have an opportunity for a big play. Let's go to the screen now and watch that in action. See our offensive team actually going against our defensive team. There's the safety we're reading. Now that's a big man. We saw a little man a while ago. This is a big man, safety. Quarterback's eyes are on him. As the snap unfolds, we're looking for him to come forward and throw the ball over the top of him. And as we said in the little man, if he backs up, we will hand the ball off. Let's just let it roll. He moves forward. You can see the receiver going through the vacated area, and they score a touchdown. Here's a look from the rear. There's the safety that the quarterback's looking at. You can see the quarterback's eyes on him as he puts the ball into the halfback's belly, pulls it out because the safety comes forward, makes the throw, and you know, sometimes it's good when it works. Here's another clip. There's another safety on the snap. These are the options that the receiver can do, looking for the safety to come forward. Almost didn't come up enough, but we got the throw in there, and you can see ended up being a touchdown. Now here's an example of a different kind of run-pass option. Now the receiver runs out toward the sideline, and the quarterback keys a low safety in the number 39. If the safety were to react to the sideline with the receiver, he would hand the ball off. If the number 39 would come charging the quarterback to stop the run, we would throw it to the receiver. Safety doesn't move much. We'll let this run. On the snap, he backs up just a little bit, but the ball's handed off, and you can see he's a little late arriving on the running play, which allows the back to squirt through. This is from our scrimmage just a few weeks ago, and we actually have a 70-yard touchdown run because the safety was a little late arriving. He was playing the pass. Run-pass options can create some big plays. Now let's go to Ranger Trivia.
This week in Rangers Trivia, after the opener against Midland Lee, Smithson Valley has now played 450 football games. How many of those games have they won? Is the answer A, 265, B, 275, or C, 250? The answer is A, 265, and 220 of those have come under head coach Larry Hill. Well, Coach, 220. I guess that means you must be coaching for a long time.
That's a nice way of saying I must be getting old. I appreciate you saying it that way, Brant.
Anytime I can do that. Tell you what, Coach, the Rangers are going for 221 in the home opener against Brant this coming Friday. We'll talk more about the matchup against the Bears up next.
I had my mom make you some cookies, Coach.
Well, that's nice. Thanks. Why'd I get these?
Cookies are for coaches with over 200 wins. Get you a cookie, Coach. Help me out. I need a shameless plug.
Not a problem. If you need video production work, there's not a finer organization than Wick Productions. It's who we've always trusted for our game night school board productions and Inside Ranger Football Coaches Show.
Get you another cookie, Coach.
Hi, welcome to GVTC. Hit it, Natalie.
R-E-N-G-E-R-S, Rangers, Rangers, the best.
Play and ask for a gig, which is up to 1,000 megabits per second internet speed through the GVTC Giga region. Unlimited long-distance phone service, 24/7 home security monitoring, and free whole home DVR with our HD TV service. GVTC, just plain smart.
Well, now it's time to talk about Game 2 of the 2015 season coming up this Friday, 7:30 against the Midland Bears, a team ranked 16th in the state right now in the 6A ranks, 1-0. They beat Leander Rouse last week, 31-13. Coach, you played this program a year ago. Brennan has been a dynamite program over the past several years, dating back to the 2013 season. They are 40-3, just an incredible record. What are your impressions of this year's group?
Well, they're not overrated. I'll tell you that. They are a super football team in terms of talent, in terms of speed, size. They're very, very well coached. You mentioned their record, so they obviously have tradition and confidence, which is obvious that they would. We've got a tough schedule this year. We've got a number of really good teams, but I don't know that we'll play any as good as the Brennan Bears.
In terms of the skill position, you look at Tavion Tolafree, their quarterback. You saw Deshaun Key a year ago, very athletic quarterback, went on to sign with UTSA. What are your impressions of Tolafree?
Similar, you know, he obviously the other kid was a 4-year starter, so this one doesn't have near the experience that one does. But they build the offense around him. A lot of things that they do, particularly in the running game, are very similar, and he's very talented. You'll be hearing a lot about him as well.
And defensively, very stout. I know you had a tough time cracking the scoreboard against them last year. They held Rouse to 13 points last week. What's going to take for you to move the football against them?
Well, we're going to have to be balanced. You know, think we can line up and just run the football or throw the ball every play. You know, you can't. We're going to have to be balanced. We're going to have to keep them off balance. You know, take advantage of field position opportunities that hopefully our defense and kicking game can give us. And then we're going to have to create some explosive plays. You know, you haven't seen teams have the ability to go on 10, 12, 13 play drives against them over and over and over. They're just too good for that. So, you know, we'll have our moments, and we'll have to take advantage of it.
All right, so the Rangers play Brennan this Friday at Ranger Stadium, but the other 25 6A teams in action as well. And for a look at that and the picks, we're going to go visit with Ferris Orthodontics. They make their district picks this week around 25 6A.
Thanks, guys. I'm Tyler Ferris,
And I'm Megan Hembry.
and we've got your Week 2 picks of the week.
All right, line them up.
All right, my first pick of Week 2, we've got New Braunfels Unicorns versus Seguin down the road in Seguin. I'm going with Mighty Unicorn Power. Horns all the way, out.
All right, I have to pick between the Judson Rockets and the Brandeis Broncos. Brandeis is pretty close to our Leon Springs office, so I think the Broncos may kick the fire out of those Rockets over there.
Da-na-na, da-na-na. Week 2, most important pick of the week, Smithson Valley Rangers, Brennan Bears, no contest.
No contest.
Not for the second week of the season. All Smithson Valley, go Rangers.
Go Rangers. Back to y'all.
All right, so to recap, the picks are for New Braunfels to beat Seguin, for Brandeis to beat Judson, and for those Rangers to beat the Brennan Bears. What do you think about that, Coach?
Well, I like the third pick. I'm with him on that, and I'm agreeing with it. The others, tough games, could go either way, but well, I guess the doctors saw it that way, so we'll see how that comes out.
Well, this has been a fun first show of 2015. Looking forward to next week. We'll recap the game against Brennan and look ahead to more coming up in the 2015 year. For Coach Hill, I'm Brant Freeman. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.